Everybody, welcome back. We're doing another Undecember video. In this one, we are going to be doing the do's and don'ts of the game, primarily as you get going and a little bit into the end game. A bunch of this stuff is going to matter later, but I want to make sure that we get those simple things. It's just like, hey, just don't waste these. Make sure to do this. Don't do this while you're getting to the point where you get more familiar. So let's get right to it. The first thing I'm going to tell you, and you might know this, you might not, but what I'm going to tell you, let's go to storage. I always do this. I always click around looking for stuff. Storage. So essences. What's an essence? This stuff. All of these things that you get throughout the game, mainly when you're early game, you'll get a bunch of these purple ones. You get some of these heads, all these coins, things you can combine, blah, blah, blah. Don't use these a lot. Okay, I would try to minimize the use of them. The primary use is to adjust your gear, your runes, anything along those lines. I would not use that. I think it's important to save a lot of this stuff for later so that you can use it on gear that actually matters. So what I mean by that is, so in your gear, what you got here, you get all your different stats, right? That's what those essences do. They take it from magic, from normal to magic. You'll obviously want to do that a little bit, but and from magic to rare, and then the essences will change these stats. They'll maybe make them better. They'll give you different ones, blobbity, blobbity, blobbity. But as you're leveling in the game, you get way better tiers. The tier is this 27 right here. It says it right here, tier 27. You get that stuff real quick in the end game. I mean, you literally can go over here to the gear shop, and what's this guy have? It's all 25s, you know, a couple lower ones, but you can still get, you know, 20. You just buy them. So you want to go in here and just get what you need to early on so you can pass the levels, but don't be using a bunch of those essences to get it perfect and just right. Can you pass the boss? Are you close? Is there a potion or something that you can use and maybe pop to get by it? Do that versus using all of these different essences that you can use to upgrade and make sure you get the perfect. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your mats. You don't need them. Okay. Or you don't want to. You will need them later. That's probably the biggest thing. And then tied to that, like I said, gear, sort of whatever early on. I mean, you need it to pass certain bosses again, but you know, get what you can. You don't need to worry about like, oh, it doesn't have, you know, this perfect thing and that perfect thing. I leveled all the way from 0 to the end game. To get to the end game, I beat the Act 10 boss without too much tinkering. I mean, I got some physical damage on stuff because that was what was in my build. And I got some resistance, mainly the chaos resistance for the last boss in Act 10. I don't think I ever had to build up a resist in any of the poison, fire, cold, any of that. I mean, I had to make sure it was okay, but I didn't go crazy with it. So, you know, I even kept some of my stuff, honestly, which, no, it looks like I got rid of it. No, I kept a couple, where I'd maybe have chaos resist on it, or something like that. But don't stress about your gear. The gear is sort of whatever. And you can get it real quick through, and I'm not going to go through this, but you get to do this chaos statue. And this is basically what you do every day is you run dungeons through this thing. I'm not going to do that in this video, but you run stuff through there. You get gear. You know what? You can come here. Do you have 1,500 gold? Okay, you can buy all 25 tier 25 stuff. Just buy it and then go use all that essence that you didn't use a lot on and get something that's decent so that you can get through those dungeons. And they're not super, super difficult to start. So you'll start getting some of those drops. So with those essences and gear, don't stress too much about the gear. Save the essence. Tied in with that gear, I would say just you don't need to, you know, I told you a little bit like, oh, I saved some of this stuff. For a long time, I was dropping all kinds of gear. Well, I might need a plate of this. I might need something of that. You can see the only reason I have this 15 is because it's some item drop rarity. And at some point, I'll maybe make a build to run through dungeons with item drop rarities. So, you know, as I get better stuff that gets item drop rarity, I'll replace that one. This is probably an item drop. No, that one I probably just really liked. Back in the day, I could probably get rid of that. Same thing with that one, you know, but there's really no reason to keep much in here. Maybe if you're playing around with builds like that, you can see most of the stuff I have is weapons, because those are the things that you really dictate what build you might be playing with. Every once in a while, I will have my plate and stuff like that in here, but I generally speaking, you don't just get the gear that you want to play with. Don't stress about saving it. And then I would just come here and disassemble and come to our guy here. What's his name? Grow Crew or whatever. And then no matter what you got here, just make sure you don't have anything that you really care about. Click this little try button over here and get your mats. So that way you don't have to worry about it. So don't stress about gear. Next thing, and this might be the most important thing that I say. Do we show our res scrolls in here? I don't remember. Yeah, they do. So resurrection scrolls. Do not use these. Do not use these. It doesn't, I mean, unless you're on a final boss of an act or a boss that you've been struggling with, and there's like, this much health left and you're just done with it, and you just one res scroll, okay, maybe then. But, I would highly recommend trying not to use any res scrolls until maybe Act 9 and 10. And even then, I'd try to avoid it. I think on the final boss, I think I used 3 to 5 maximum once I did beat the final boss. And even in that attempt, I'd say 3 of those, or a couple of those at least, were because as soon as I rezzed, I instantly died because the boss did something. And it was like, okay, whatever. So do not use these res scrolls. You will want them for the maps that I mentioned in here and the dungeons, because as you get in these, you don't want, when you die, you're done. You're done. So you're going to want to be able to res, and they limit the amount of times you can res within those. Same thing with the void rifts. When you go in there, you get a limited amount of reses, and that actually void rift's more difficult, and I'm not going to cover that, but it's difficult. So you want to save your res scrolls. So save them. Next, gold bars. So you, throughout the game, a little early on in those, I think you started getting them maybe Act 3, 4, 5, I don't remember. But you start getting all these components that you can make gold bars into, and you can sell gold bars, and you can sell them for like 1,500 a pop. Okay, cool, yay, da-da-da. Don't sell them. Don't sell them, save them. Build whatever gold bars you want. I think it's like 1,000 gold to make per or something like that. Save them, because what they eventually do is you use them to craft crafted statues, which I'll get into something with that later. You can certainly sell them, but I think there's a better way to use these, and because selling them for gold is actually a loss if you factor in everything, unless all of your mats are farmed. But even then, it costs 50,000 to make. So if you sell it, you're not making any gold. So anyway, there's another way to use those. We're not going to get into that in this video, but save these gold bars. That's what I want to talk about with that aspect of it. Save them. One item I do want to talk about from the store that you can buy. Where is this at? There we go. In the Chaos Stone section, they've got this paid product item for God resonances. I normally try to buy at least one of those a day if I can. Depends on my gold situation. And actually, I'll throw this in here, is be mindful of your gold. Don't willy-nilly spend that, okay? Because you do eventually get very, very high limitations on what that is, or you run out very quickly. You're limited in what you should consider using it. Now, how much do I have? How much gold do I have? I have a 700K, but I was just down to like 500K. Most endgame players who are leveling up, doing their things, they probably are under 100K. So if possible, you want to buy those. Why? Because when you come in here and you say drop one of these cards, which again, we're not going to cover, you can actually add, some of these things if I add them in here. And it gives you the ability to get more stuffs. So we'll cover that a little bit more. But essentially, the point of this is if you have the gold and you're mindful of it, consider buying these every day. If you can afford the 100K, I'm going to just buy both of them. Why not? So buy those and then use those for the dungeon once you get to a point where it makes sense to. Again, we're not going to cover that right now. So that is what I've got. I wanted to primarily cover that, some real loose things. A lot of people say, well, I don't know. Should I do this? Should I save this? What should I do? That's the point of this. The do's and don'ts of at least the early game of Undecember. I will like to say that I am still enjoying this game. I think it's sort of fun. I've been playing, again, if you are not an isometric dungeon crawler type person, you might not like it, but there are some interesting things to do in here that I am finding okay. There's a couple raids that you can come in here. You can fight these bosses with some, friends, teammates, randoms. Queue up against them. You can do this spire thing, which is sort of just like depending what level you do, can be, go to 670? So I can't get that high. I think the highest I've ever gotten is like 34, but I'm also a little bit lower for the end game. Some of these 80s and level 90s who get, the reds and the yellows, you can see are a little bit further. They'll get far on there. But There are other things to do. I've been running some of these dungeons with some friends. I like it. It's fun. You can pick some daily missions before you go in there to get some extra rewards. Right now I'm recommending this game. I have only spent $45, and I didn't do that until I was like, you know what? I like the game and I feel good paying $45 for it. So I'm planning on continuing to do videos for the time being. If you think you're going to want to look for something like this and want to subscribe, appreciate you. You hammer down like buttons, notification bells. We got a Discord in the description below if you want to check that out. Always appreciate that. And I think that's all I got for now. So yeah, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.